Okay.
Anybody? The last time we met, what do we examine? What did we look into? So you don't have notes? Do you know that you have access also to the link to watch what have been examined as well? Are we all here?
Yes, sir. I'm here.
Okay. Then James is not here. Paul is not here.
Oh, we are here.
Okay. So I thought I'm talking to myself.
Last time we spoke about data. Oh, my note has shifted. Sorry. Where's that thing? We were talking about what comes into data quality policies. And I know you spoke about the principles, and then we talked about data quality dimensions, which is accuracy, completeness, and all them stuff. And then you talked about the data custodians and what they are like in IT and provides other tools for making sure that data meets standards. You went further to talk about data profiling, data cleansing, and what is enshrined in data quality policies, which you said there must be compliance as to the regulations governing the sector. You spoke about communications of data quality in terms of key performance indicators, which must be embedded in the policies. And then you spoke about monitoring, reporting, and feedback before we went into audits and reviews to ensure compliance, which you spoke about the audit periods depending on complexity of the data, and how programs is set up. I think from there we went into the questions we did. That's about what I have on my notes.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I believe every other person who will be talking will be based on the same as well. So please always remember what has been said and what have been taught. We're dealing with policy because it's a very, very crucial aspect of data governance and also data analyst. But I want you to understand that no matter how you study or you are trained, you are expected to know how to draft policy. What goes into it's not that, oh, I know this policy. Have you ever participated in the drafting of policy? Yes. Which policy and how? Because you know what goes into it, it's easy for you to know how to do it. Okay? That's why we're spending time on policy. Very important. Okay, anything done without policy to affect, it's one of the biggest components of data governance. Okay, very important. Policy is very important. So today we will attempt to look into another policy called data security and access control policy. So please remember this. So when you talk about, policy with respect to security, data security and access control, what do you think we're talking about? What comes to your mind? What comes to your mind?
What comes to my mind is that data security, how to protect the data, and the access control policy, how to get access to the data.
Sir,
Okay.
okay.
Yes, please. Yes, please.
So our data security is the practice of protecting digital information from unauthorized access or corruption. Well, data access control is like authentications and passwords and things like that.
So, yeah, so in this context, we're talking about policy. What does that mean? Policy now on that, on those things. What does that mean?
Policy, yes.
Data access control policy.
So what's the meaning of policy?
Right.
Guidelines, rules and regulations.
Guidelines.
Absolutely. So if you want to
Yes.
put them together now, will be what?
Data security.
So it will be the guidelines and policies that guide kind of
Thank
guides
you.
us.
So when
And,
you had asked a question that have you partaken in any policy before? Is it created or developed policy? Oh yeah, knowing fully well that there is a guidelines. When you saw guidelines, you know you're talking about policy. Okay, so data security and access control policy actually defines how any enterprise organization protect its data from unauthorized access, misuse, these words are very important, alteration, that is altering data, or loss of data as well, while ensuring that authorized user have the access they need to perform their duties. That's what, when Paul say giving, access. So giving access to people. So that has to be, those are the guidelines that you need to, so the purpose of it is to protect confidentiality, number one. Please remember. Two, integrity and availability. Just to protect confidentiality, integrity, and availability. So if it's so easy for you, if you want to know it quickly, say CIA. CIA means confidentiality, then I, integrity, and the availability means A. So always remember that. Okay? And ensure only authorized individuals or group of individuals have access to sensitive data. And it also purposely be done to comply with legal and regulatory requirement, like what?
GDPR.
GDPR, that's correct. Yeah.
HIPAA.
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah.
SOX. No, that's for financial. Or is that
Yes.
XOX?
Yeah, that's very, very good. Yeah. Do we all know that? Do we all know that?
No, sir.
Are you
Not
sure?
knowing now.
You just know it now.
I think we've done that before, but it's just escaped my memory. I'll get back to it.
Okay, there is another one called PCIDSS.
PCIDSS.
It's every day when you come, you see new things, eh?
So
PC,
can you put the abbreviation in the chat? PCIDSS.
yes.
What kind of X?
Okay. PCIDSS,
Okay.
it simply means that it stands for Payment Card Industry Data Security Standard. It is a global security standard developed to ensure that enterprise or organization that store, process, or transmit credit card data maintain a security or a secure environment for such transfer. So what happens is that it is created by the PCI means Security Standard Council, funded by major payment brands. I think the payment brands like a Visa, MasterCard, American Express, then Discover or JCB. So it's a very powerful standard they have. So key points about PCI DSS means the purpose is to protect cardholder data from theft, breaches, and fraud. That's another data. So who must comply? Is any organization like merchant, a service provider, POS, all those things they are supposed to be part of it. Financial institution that handles payment card, data.
So basically all banks now.
All banks and the financial institutions are fintech, or even a merchant, just a merchant, including banks, because merchant is anywhere you use cards, need to be protected. So it doesn't matter whether it's bank or not. So it has a very compliance level based on transaction volume per year. So that means a small merchant or versus large enterprise. So there's always a validation period of that compliance is validated either through self-assessment. That's why you say, oh, can you send codes to you to get things done? Those are every time they try to verify, know your customer. If you are so person will send you a passcode to your phone, can you log in and verify? Those things are just to make sure they are PCI DSS compliant. Okay.
Yes,
and sometimes questionnaires like questions are like on-site audit by qualified security assessor who also for penalty for not compliance is very heavy. It's a heavy fines by the provider. Okay, increased transaction fees, or sometimes even loss of the ability to process or card payment if the point of service does not comply. I can say a lot about that, but at the moment we're dealing with, I just want you to know that as we begin to go on, this aspect of it is very good for fintech people who are working in the financial sector. Okay. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So now that is very important for anyone who involved in it's one of the purposes of data security and access control policy. So also one of the purposes also it reduces risk of the breaches that occur with data and insider threat, because they can be inside people working within the company. They can also pose threat to the organization and also that of a cyber attack. That is the main purpose of having that policy. So what is the scope of that policy? Because every guideline has a scope. What is the scope of the policy? All employees, contractors, and third-party vendors. Okay, those must be involved in it, no matter how it is. If have a third party, and if you collect data from any client, before it goes to the third party, you must make sure they follow the guidelines put in place, which of course the policy we're talking about, authorizing third party to get involved. Those who are doing insurance are not passing people's data to another third party insurance, and that is very important. There must be security or intense policy guiding their authorization to have access to those data. And organizational or enterprise data, whether structured or unstructured, electronic or paper, must be involved in that guidelines awareness and to carry out the same. So the scope, it covers all organizations that are involved, and whether in structured data or unstructured data. Okay, electronic or paper. Do you understand when they say data are structured or unstructured?
No, sir.
Any other person?
No, sir.
Okay.
No, sir. Good morning, sir. Sorry, sir.
Morning. Okay. When they say data is structured or not structured, if, for example, have you heard of the word structured questions or unstructured questions?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now it's almost the same thing. So let me tell you when data are structured. Structured data, it requires organized. It's a structured, it's an organized in a fixed format. Okay, it could be like rows or columns or whatever that is easy to store, search, or analyze. Very easy. It's well organized. If you say, if you want to prepare questionnaire and say structured question, if you are doing qualitative research and you're going to interview people, if it is by interview, you interview with structured question. That means the question has been prepared. Then unstructured one is unprepared one. It can just come. Okay. So very important. This is well organized. Whenever you talk about structure, you're talking about organized. Remember that. So data organized in a fixed format is called structure. It is easy to store, to search, and also to analyze. For example, we have database like SQL. It's well organized. Those are structured data. We have spreadsheet. You know where do we have spreadsheet?
Excel.
Excel, yeah, because every data there is already structured in Excel. So, for example, have customer details. What do you think that will go to customer detail?
Informations.
Yeah,
Customer details will be name.
Like name,
Information
correct?
about the customer.
Name. If it's for a bank, you'd have age, date
Yeah,
of birth, something like
that's
that.
correct. That's correct.
Then you
Phone
have
number.
yes.
Yeah.
Then you have even as much as next of kin information.
Yeah, hold on. My phone is ringing, but I don't know where it is. Hold on. Yeah. Huh? Enjoy. Yeah. You're going coming back is blessed in Jesus' name. Yeah, so I'm in a training at the moment. We don't be able to talk much. All right, yeah. Sorry about that, sir, please. Hello?
Sir.
Yeah, sorry.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
It is, sir.
Yeah. So I'm very happy that you know, for example, customer details. So in CRM platform, one of the those questions I gave to you is a customer details issue. So, and those are structured one. What about transaction records? Transaction records. Have you given me an example of transaction record?
Receipts.
Receipts, because you customize how transaction will be, there is well structure. It's easy. You can easily get data from there. Receipt or invoices.
Yes.
Thank you. So if you want to know that how many people purchase something, is it easy to locate?
Yes. It's easy.
Yes, sir.
Check the receipts.
Because you have structured those data or people at the point of sales, you get everything straight. That's called structured data. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
If I ask question based on structured data, again, you'll be able to give me answer, isn't it?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Thank you so much. So what about unstructured data? And another what do you mean by unstructured data then?
Unstructured would be the opposite of structured.
Yeah.
So it's
Unprepared.
data is unprepared.
Unprepared data. Data that just came in unprepared. For example,
Can you give me an example?
unprepared data. Um,
You want to phone a friend?
Emails, you have
That's
emails,
correct. That's correct. That's correct.
social
Email,
media,
social media.
these things that just come suddenly.
That's correct. Those are unstructured ones.
Yeah.
So data that does not have a predefined structure or model, harder to organize and analyze without advanced tools. Just like as Paul said, is your opposite because it's very easy now because you put on inside, so automatically very easy, isn't it?
Yes.
So example like email, social media, and then social media posts, audio and video files, and maybe scanned documents and images, PDF without consistent formatting. Those are all structured. Then also we talk about electronic data. Electronic data, well, like what? Electronic data would be like what?
Electronic data.
Mm-hmm.
Electronic. Data that
Emails?
has been fixed.
Emails, that's very good. Who says so?
Ramsey, sir.
Ah, Your Majesty.
Electronic.
Emails, yeah, that's very good. Yeah, anything again?
Charts.
Cloud, did you say cloud?
I said like social media chats.
Oh, charts, okay, yeah,
Yeah. For
okay.
people that are using iPhones, your cloud is
That's
online
You
data
have
too.
cloud storage files,
videos,
yeah.
videos,
Yeah, mobile app data,
yeah.
digital financial records, databases are electronic data.
Is your online banking app part of it? Yeah.
That's correct, yes. Any data stored, processed, or transmitted in a digital form using computers and electronic devices is called electronic data. Okay, and immediately you use it to become a authentic signature. So paper, we still have paper data. What does that mean? We talk about paper data. What does that mean?
The ones that are written down, that are documented.
That is the truth, yeah. Is information recorded and stored in physical and non-digital form. Like what?
Receipts too.
Yeah.
Files?
Eh?
Files, like a file.
Files,
When you file
Or
yes.
something here, writing here.
patient records in the hospital.
Patients record in the hospitals, patient medical files in
Files.
full. Yeah, that's very
Attendance
good.
sheets. Attendance sheets.
Oh, that is, who said that?
Peace.
Oh, Pastor Peace. Oh, that's good. Yeah, that's very good. You people are on fire. Fire, on fire. Okay? On fire. Okay. So, can someone tell me about structure and unstructured and electronic and paper? Can you define it for me, please?
So, sir, structured data is organized information that is stored in a predefined format.
Okay,
That is, like you said earlier on, the receipts are structured data because you have a predefined format that they have to follow.
that's
And
correct.
then unstructured data is the one that does not have a predefined format. And you said it's harder to keep track of or analyze without the use of advanced tools. So we said our social media, emails, and all that are unstructured data. Then we went into electronic data, which you said at the end that any transaction or anything that is stored with an electronic device, any information that is passed to and fro with an electronic device is known as electronic
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
electronic data, we said it involves our banking, our cloud details, whatever we do at all that has to involve an electronic device is electronic data. Whereas paper data is the ones that are documented physically.
That's correct.
Which we've noted that hospital records, patients' hospital records in files, and like I said, receipts, and also attendance sheets.
Absolutely. So when you're drafting a policy, a guideline concerning data security and access control, you must incorporate those things in and think of how you can give authorized access or unauthorized access based on the misuse, alteration, and loss of data. Well, in order for people to know how to perform their own duties. So those things are things that are going into the policy as well. So as their scope. So all system and device used to store, process, and transmit data. So those things are very important. So what about the kind of policy statement? Because you need to put a policy statement because every policy have a policy statement. So you can just say, oh, access to data will be controlled through role-based security, through role. Then you're talking about role, responsibility and role-based security, and strong authentication, and then monitoring. Okay, these things are very important. All employees must follow least privilege principles that are put there, and sensitive data must also be protected against unauthorized disclosure or alteration of data. So you cannot put policy statement to let people know what the policy or entails. And there are key principles you need to put into consideration. The words that you use, like less privilege, means users only have the minimum access needed. Minimum access needed. And a need to know, very important as one of the principles, need to know is sensitive data is accessible only to those who with a business need. Not everyone have to get. So that is we need to know that. Every employee must understand that. Need to know is this. If you don't have access to it, that means you don't have need for it. You don't have business need for it. That does not mean you're not in the company. Another key principle that guides such policy we must not fail to put in is role-based access control, ROBAC, role-based access control. Remember, role-based access control simply means, permissions assigned based on job function. So if you're a head of mechanical engineer, you do not have that permission based on your role to know the account number of someone working with you because it's not your role base. So it's very important, role-based access control. But if you want to talk about the person professional achievement or whatever, you do not need to ask somebody to give you access to it because you have it. Okay. So we have another key principle that we need to know about such policy, talking about separation of duties. Critical task or function divided among multiple users to prevent fraud. So if it is critical, then you divide the duties, and that must be enshrined into that policy. Very important. And also, we have what's called authentication and authorization. And this key principle is a strong identity verification required before access. So you must verify what is the identity of the person. Very strong one. Banks, they do that to you. So if you know that, oh, you just made this payment, verify. I went to verify payment. I paid something about $300 and something, and where the location where I paid it, It's a different Wi-Fi, and my bank just block it straight. They send text to me. If you are the one, if you are the one, just type Y. Then I just type Y to the bank. Bank will not authorize it. So it's very important. It's a strong identification. Also verify if you are the one. So authentication and authorization is one of the principles that you need to inculcate in the policy. You need to also inculcate encryption. You know encryption more than what I can tell you right now. Okay, so sensitive data encrypted in transit and at rest. Very important. That must be enshrined in that policy. When they ask you, say, when you have this policy, what did you put? What were the content of the put in there? What are the key principles? What does it imply? What is the scope? What is the purpose of that? So you should be able to tell them. And in that policy, you can also put what is called monitoring and logging. So access tracked and audited for compliance. You need to monitor whether this security, this access control and data security is being done in line with the policy. Okay, what comes with it is very important. It's your roles and responsibility. You talk about the data owner, system administrators, and also IT security team, employees and employers, users. They all come with it at all, with this. And also we have standards and guidelines. You know, when standards are criteria to which you measure whether there's a best or the best practice or not best practice. So the guidelines now pave way for you to follow the best practice that you put together. So standards like strong password policy, complexity of the password or expiring or rotation. So if the password you put has expired, you need to, in all this thing, when you have strong password policy, the policy itself will talk about how complex is the data that you are passwording, or when it's expiring time for that strong password, or is it going to be rotational? On that basis, it could be like, what's it called? Always going, not a loop, keeping on. Sorry? Somebody say something?
I don't think so, sir. Nobody.
Yeah, it could be recurring. So if you say the password should be recurring, that will not be any problem. But if it's expiring, you say, well, your password is almost expiring. So can you please put on another password to confirm whether you are, okay? So depends on the policy you want to. You can also have a standard like multi-factor authentication, MFA. Have you seen multi-factor authentication before?
That is two-factor authentication.
Thank you. Could be two-factor authentication. So if you have a guidelines or standard based on that, you'll be very, very fine. That's a strong one. You can have another standards and the guideline within the policy as secure section timeouts and auto lock features. Have you on your phone before? And then if you're not having the phone will just lock. Yeah?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Every phone has a timer.
So it still depends on people. Some people more some people computer will not have timer. Someone like my computer, if as soon as I'm out for 1 minute, it's gone. But if I'm in front of my computer and I'm not doing anything, it won't be up to 3 minutes. It will just off. So this is how it is. So people can have such in access control policy. Okay. We also have somebody say if he said I used Nokia 3310, it doesn't. Anyway, your own is 3310. So it's more advanced than my own. My own is 3210. So we also have access reviews and raise certification at regular intervals. These are very good standard that goes in. So another part of it is we have process and control, onboarding and offboarding. So that must be that James Mother, you are 2000 and late. Anyway, so we have a process it and control. So you should have a kind of security when somebody's onboarding and offboarding. That is granting an access granting or removing access when employees join or leave. That guideline must be there, and you must have to be set that if somebody leaves, immediately he leaves, automatically they will not get access to any of those things. That is very important. And access request approval forms. You need to have a workflow of formal access for assigning access rights to anybody who wants to get access to any sensitive data, especially across the functional department. Okay. Then we should have periodic access right as well as part of the processes and control. Very important. And you will be asked all this question in interview. For example, if someone wants to gain access to, so how do you do that? So these questions are very important. You should be able to remember ensuring permission are still valid or not periodically. So you have to say, oh, are you still with us? Or are you still using this? Especially when people have not been using it for a long time. I want to find the reason why your asset that you give it to somebody is still valid or not. Especially when you time it, okay? Incident, you can also have incident response, detecting and responding to unauthorized access attempts. So such, when you detect it, what do you do? So how do you respond to such? So also what is included is like compliance alignment, whatever we have said. Compliance, if we talk about compliance, what are the regulation and law that are involved in compliance? Hello? When we talk about compliance regulations, what are the regulations that you can see in compliance?
It's the same thing.
Like what?
It's still GDPR and all that.
GDPR, yeah. Which one again?
The HIPAA.
That's correct. Another person? Hello? We mentioned they're not two. We mentioned they're not two.
Okay.
You said something about the PCI DSS.
That's correct.
I think there's AML or something like that.
No. Paul?
SOX.
SOX. What does that mean? SOX?
That's the Sarbanes-Oxley Act.
Yeah, so that one talk about ensures financial data integrity through restricted access in most of them in fintech. So the PCI DSS talk about protect payment card data with strict access rules. Always remember these things, please. Anytime you talk about compliance, just know they are talking about regulations. And what are the regulations? I purposely just ask you these things. Very important. Always remember, in fact, all the policies, almost all the policy contains this because you still have to protect the same policy as well. So there's need for training and awareness of this, letting everybody to know what has been put in place, the policy, not to avoid internal violating access rules, and create disciplinary actions for anybody who violates this. So we also talk about you need to include monitoring and reporting, especially when there's automated. You can put automated rules or alerts for suspicious access. Somebody wants to get like if anybody wants to enter on my phone will tell me, my email will tell me somebody attempted this so time. Are you the one? No. So you have to put things in place. Audit trials for all sensitive system access is very important as well. You need to have trials as well. Not only just trials as well. You also need to have a tray of what has happened, because you'll be able to trace it for where the trial take place as well. Regular reporting to compliance officers and executives, very important. What has happened, which department, and where the thing take place. Has anything happened? No, it's reduced to barest minimum because you have put policy in place. Okay? Because one day I'm going to tell people to draft a policy for me for certain things. So you know all these things, right? So you're going to tell me that, oh, okay, maybe you're going to go and watch the video and they'll say, oh, see what you have said, we'll see what has been said, and from there you draft a policy for me. Okay? Is that okay?
Yes, sir.
You would draft a policy, so that would be an assignment.
Yes, sir.
So there's a enforcement as well, how violations may result in a loss of assets and disciplinary action and termination, because if there's no enforcement, then there's no point of having regulations. Okay? I told you last year, Facebook was worth $2.8 billion. There's a shaky change for the man, but he paid because he violated regulations.
Sorry, sir. Can I ask a question?
Yes, sir.
Now, who do they pay these billions to?
Yeah, because they're about the GDPR body.
So it's the board that gets the billions.
Yes. So maybe you are the guy of that, but so you pay, so you know what to do. So, and severe violations may involve legal or regulatory penalties, which is very important. So, and every policy need review cycle. You must be able to apportion what time this policy need to be reviewed. This policy must be reviewed either annually or after major changes in regulations, business processes, or maybe IT frustration. That will result you to know that, you know what? This need to be reviewed immediately. You don't need to wait for annual review. It depends on the complexity of data that you're having. If you are doing migration to higher platform, you need to review policy to meet up with the complexity of the data you are transferring. Okay, very important. That's called scalability. Okay, is that okay, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Good. So one of you will draft a policy, data quality policy. One will draft a retention policy for me. Another one will draft this data security and access control policy. Another person will draft a data owner policy for me. So you have to choose, before we leave, you have to choose which one you will draft a policy. And if you need help in the group, always shout. Okay? Very important. You see, the way when you're going for interview, it's like you have worked for 5 years. You're a professional. You don't joke at all. Okay? So I'm going to put question on the screen. The chat box. Okay? And I need answer. Which is the main purpose of data security and access control policy?
What is the main purpose of data security and access control policy to make data accessible to everyone?
I want an answer. Okay, how many of you here now? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 6 people. So I need answer, please. More answer. We have How many people have given answer? Four. 4 people giving answer. Remaining 1 person. Yeah, Ramsey, are you there? Ramsey? Ramsey, are you there? You gotta be there. Okay, the answer is B. You all got it right. Any abbreviation for that? What's the abbreviation?
CIA.
CIA. Thank you. CIA. That's very good. Always remember that. Okay. Which principles ensure user only get the minimal access needed? Which principle?
Which principle ensures only invest?
You can phone a friend. Any answer? I need answer. Good. A, least privileged person. Least privileged person is users who only get the minimum access needed. Minimum access needed. Okay. Thank you for that. Very proud of you. Okay. Access to sensitive information should be based on what? That's good. That's very good. Job function and business need. That's very good. So clever people. Okay. What does ROBAC stands for?
Oh. Office control.
Okay. It's actually role-based access control. Role-based access control. Okay. Very good. Thank you so much. So the next question is on the chat. First, which of the following is not part of CIA triad?
Very trash. Authorization.
Okay. That's very good. D as the answer. Okay. D. So it's confidential, integrity, and availability. So it's no authorization that is there. That's very good. Good to know that. Okay. Multi-factor authentication adds security by requiring what? Yeah. Thank you, everyone. The answer is C. The answer is C. Okay. Well done. What is the role of data owner in access control? Yeah, thank you. The answer is A. The role of data owner in access control is to approve access right and classifies data. That's very good. Good man. Good answer. Okay. Which regulatory framework focuses on health data protection? Which? Yeah, that's correct. Yeah, that's correct. B. Okay, that's very good. All right. Well done. So periodic access reviews are performed to do what? Yeah, this is good. Assures people and following. So the is A, okay? A is just to remove old accounts and unnecessary access. Very important. Okay, the need to know principle means what?
The need to know principle means everyone knows everything. Data is accessible only to those information access using.
Okay, that's very good. Smart people. So smart. Answer is B. Okay, answer is B. Data is accessible only to those with a business requirement. Always remember. Okay, somebody asks for an access to data. It's not in business, it's not in business line. Why must he need it? Okay, it's not required in that person's business. Okay, what is the first step when an employee leaves the organization? This one was this one answer is so fast. So fast. Okay. It's very, very fast. Okay. That is the truth. When someone leaves the company, what happens is what happens is to remove their access immediately. Very, very important. Okay. All right. So this is the last one before which of these is a common access control model? Common access control model.
Road-based access.
You, what's the answer?
I think it's all of the above.
Okay.
I think it's all of the above.
The
I
answer
think it's all of the above.
is all of the above.
Mm.
All of the
I
above.
chose the wrong one, but when I looked at it again, I said this must be all of the above.
So only one person got it right.
I got it right.
Oh.
I changed my mind. I couldn't type it fast. But I
So
said it.
do you know
I said
the
it.
do you know the meaning of them?
Sir,
Do you know the meaning of them?
all of
With
them.
the discretionary access control, DAC. What it means, access is controlled by the description of the data owner. That's called discretionary. So the data or the owner of the resource file, like database and system within the system, decide who has access, who can access it, and also which permission they have. Okay, is it in reading or writing or in execution? That is how the owner, the data owner, for example, in Windows, the person who creates a file can choose which user can view or modify the data itself. So the key point there is access is flexible but less secure because owners may grant right too broadly. So the other one is mandatory access control. It means access is controlled by centralized system security policy. So set by the organization or the enterprise, not by individual user.
Not really.
Yeah. So they have another example. So everything, all of them, they are, and we have flexibility. DAC has high flexibility. MAC has very low flexibility. ROBAC has medium stroke high flexibility. And the common use of it personal in terms of DAC is the personal computers and small teams. MAC, more common use is military and government because they have central office. Like when my wife wanted to work in the military and wanted to work in defense, they have to, have a lot of duty done with a central authority, security. Many years ago, when I was working in City of London, in London, there's a City of London inside London. They have different police. That's where the CBN, central bank is. So that area, before you go in, they already know if you are going to be working there, they already know. In fact, they have to know yourself to the end. So very important. Even if you are working as a wife there and your husband is found wanting, you can't work there. So in the defense, it's still the same thing. So data is very important. Okay. You see the
You
use.
said discretionary has a low flexibility. Mandatory has I can't remember what flexibility for mandatory and role-based.
It's low. Flexibility is very low.
For mandatory?
Yeah, MAC, very, very low.
Very
Because
low.
yeah, they're not flexible. They are very rigid. Very rigid.
Okay.
Yeah, especially in the military and government. That's why I was explaining that. Okay.
And
Anyway,
then the minimum?
ROBC.
Yes,
ROBC
sir.
have medium stroke high. Depends on the business and the enterprise.
Okay,
Okay.
sir.
Yeah, very important. And DAC, who decides it? DAC, who decides the data owner? MAC, who decides central authority? Could be government, could be defense, you know. And ROBAC is organization based on job roles. Those are the people who take decision on such, you know, control. Okay. You are receiving a very high level of training that is not common, to be quite honest. I'm giving you deep things that, you know, not everyone can easily have access to in terms of training. Okay. So on that basis, I've finished for today. And I think we should just quickly have a view of the assignment. Is that okay?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So we're already overshooting for today. I have so much thing to do. You want us to have a view of the assignment. Want to have a view of the assignment. Okay. Somebody want to get expo. Okay. Let me try to if I can share. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Can you see what I'm sharing?
Yes, sir.
No, sir.
Yes, sir.
Good. Thank
No,
you.
I can't see what you're sharing.
I think you need to phone a friend.
Okay, Paul and Peace. I'm following you guys.
So this is actually a
Yeah.
CRM platform. Okay.
Yes, sir.
In this place, you're going to have a title of what you're about to do and the status of it and issue that is in that. And then you have to know whether you have raised the login issue that you describe in this place and the status of it. And then if you raise it, then who would be, let me go back, let me go here. You raise by who? Paul? What is the impact rating? Impact rating. Impact rating is it high, low, medium, or whatever? Okay. And then the system or our impacted system, is this a true system or personal or whatever? Data entity. So who is in charge of that entity or what's going on? You can even leave that one. Critical dimension of it, element. It could be, is it critical or anything that you can put there. A primary data quality dimension. Is it complete or consistency or whatever? So who is the data owner? Owner of the data. It could be James. Then we can talk about the stewards and the resolution due date. When is it due, and when the timeline you put from the time you raise it to when it's due to be looked into. If there's attachment, you can attach it. The root cause of the problem, it could be point of entry or maybe computer or things are not well done. Root cause of it, you can talk about it. There's a closure date. That means it's been signed off. Okay, for example, in this place, you're going to sheet one, you go to sheet one, it tells you the status value. Have you logged in? Like go back to someone, you have to logged in. Okay. Yes or no, or sign off. There's a status. Depends. But in this case, it's going to be logged. Okay. Or have you assigned it to somebody? You say assign or resolved. Okay. Risk accepted. So then when you go to impact rating, that's where you're going to see the impact rating of the log issue is the rating of the impact. Is it high? If it is critical, that means the time you're going to give it to, the time you raise it, the date you raise it, and the time you expected it to be done, raised by who, and then the time you expected it to be done has to be quick if it is high critical. Why that? Because it is critical, isn't it? Yeah? Okay. This is sheet 1. Talking about data quality dimension, you know that when we go to sheet 1 right now, if the dimension of what you describe here is incomplete as what? You see, like date of birth not properly is not completed. Or no, the customer detail not completed. Maybe they talk about the son name, no first name. If it's not in that format, then what we do is not complete. Maybe address or detail, just say customer details. So the customer details, as we mentioned the other time, we talk about what are the customer details or client's detail? Client's detail. Can somebody tell me client's detail?
Date of birth,
Name,
Name,
sorry.
surname,
Yeah.
Date of birth.
name, address.
surname,
So
Address.
when somebody now say there's a login, the login you see in the database shows that there's date of birth. In that place, say the title will be like client's detail. Then what you see there is the detail. They only give you date of birth. Another thing, what do you see? What do you log in?
Name,
No, what do you log in? What do you log in? That if they give you only date of birth, what do you think you will log in?
incomplete.
Incomplete. Incomplete. Okay. And what do you do?
You log it down.
How will you rate it then? How will you rate it
Low.
then?
low.
If
No,
data,
that
It's critical.
well,
is high.
depends on if the name is very important. If you want to send something to someone's house,
Very high.
very high. Otherwise, it goes with delay. And the thing is, depends on what you say anyway. So the important you know what to do. Okay. So we still have root causes. It could be system, could be process, could be people, it could be to be advised because having investigated it could be people, it could be Sylvester who never put the other details inside. You put the person's name, could say people. All right. It could be the system not working fine. So in most cases they will blame system for everything. Okay. Look at the issues. If you look at sheet 3, you look at how title have been done, short name of issue or for reference purposes, this thing will help you. All this, the description, how do you describe the field, how do you raise everything you need to help yourself is right here. Like this one now becomes like a standard that you must follow. Okay. And then how ratings are being done. Look at how rating, and the implication of that. Okay, just look at them, low, high, and critical, medium, or low. All right. Are you getting what I'm saying, everyone?
Well, yes.
Yeah, in the will, sir.
I don't want to give you more than this explain. So if you know that anyway, you have somebody who is so you can contact her if she has time. The earlier you do that, the better to form a team for you so that she can do that with you people. Okay?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Who is that friend that you need to phone for that?
Mrs.
If-
Ife.
Okay,
Exactly.
all you need what you need to do is to have time so that she can work it out with you people quickly because and then you don't need to phone her for unless you want her to look at your policy that you have drafted. That's your personal something. You need to learn how to get those things done. Professionally, they will correct you people what need to go inside those policies. But this one, it has to be done this week. By next week, all of you are presenting at the same time. Only one thing, all of you will present the same time. the one you have all agreed, then someone will present. And after that, we know that 3 of you or 4 of you have done the assignment together. Okay, you'll be very proud of yourself. Anywhere you go, you enter the database, look at the format, you look at these things are not done well. They can even give you something to look at. Oh, no, there's no wrong format. This is a critical, this is that. Why you need to check their dimensions. Also, you need to check their standard. If there's no standard to measure which one is critical, which is not, which one is the format, then you need to develop it. But if they do not put all those things in place, you have to create this form to make sure you are putting initiative in place now in order to detect when issues arise, how to log them in and know the status and describing the issues, and also raise the date you raise it, who is the data owner, and who will it be assigned to, depends on, so these are all things that need to come up. Is that okay, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay, you are very lucky. So we can do an hour next week before Pastor commences teaching. Okay, that will be okay. So you push crack so that next week we can do half an hour before doing it. Is that okay, everyone?
It's fine by me.
Okay.
Okay, man. Okay, sir.
Thank you so much. All right. Do you learn something today?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Thank you, sir. God bless you, sir.
Amen. Amen. I need that prayer. Have a wonderful time.
And you too, sir.
All right.
Sir.
Thank you
Bye.
very much, sir. Thank you.